Hello, my dear apprentices of mathematics. Thank you for coming back to my math channel. This is your coach, Mr. Magno. And now, in this occasion, we're going to look at Module 5, Lesson 6. The objective is to find the total volume of solid figures composed of two non-overlapping rectangular prisms. So these things are not overlapping, but they are composing a solid figure. So now let's get to the heart of the problem. Let's do a couple of things first. What you gotta do is just make observations first. So you have two solid figures that make a complex figure. So the first thing you do, you're gonna find out what is that length. So the length for this one, as you can see, it's 3, correct? And the height is, as you can see, is 2. And remember, these are cubic centimeters. The width now, we don't know it, but as you can see, this is how far into this the width is. It goes in. So now, if you are wondering how many is that, probably it is 2. Let me tell you why. Because this other shape right here on the top has a length of 2, a height of 2, and notice that this is going inward, right? So this is the width. And if you can picture this, there is a line going across. So you can see that this is 4 cubes up here, which means that our length, or actually the width, is going to be 2. That's the width. What about the shape on the bottom, the solid on the bottom? This is going to be 2 then. Because for this shape to be on top, there has to be the same number of cubes on the bottom, right below it. So now let's do the mathematics. This is what I want you to do. So we're going to look at volume 1, and then we're going to look at volume 2. So we're going to call this volume 1, this one right here. This is volume 1, and then we have, let me get this right here, volume 2. And this is volume 2. All right, let's get to it. Volume 1, and we're going to get the measurements as well. So let me select my pen. And let's see. So this is going to be volume 1 equals length times width times height. So let's write the length equals, let's do volume 1. The length equals 2. The width equals 2. And the height equals 2, which is this one right here. Now with that we have the math, we can just substitute it on the formula. The length is 2 times the width, which is 2, and the height, which is 2. Now volume 1 equals, let's get the area first. This is your area right here. 2 times 2 equals 4. That's what we call the area. 4 times 2. So volume 1 equals 4 times 2 equals 8. A what? Cubic centimeters. So that is volume 1. We're going to get now volume 2. Volume 2 is the bottom one. So let's do this. So again, volume 2 equals length times width times height. So the length is 3. The width is 2. And the height, it's 2. Let's plug in our numbers. Volume 2 equals 3 times the width, 2 times the height. So we're going to get the area first. Remember, these two numbers represent the area. So let's do that first. So volume 2 equals 2 times 3 equals 6 times the height. Oh, I forgot to do the height on this one. Let me erase the h. And that should be a number by now. That should be a 2. So now we're going to multiply by 2. Volume 2 equals 6 times 2 equals 12 cubic centimeters. Cubic centimeters. So now we need to find the total. So let's find the total. So we have volume 1. If you can see, we have volume 1 right here, the total in cubic centimeters. and volume 2, which is right here. So let's now do that with, so the total is volume 1 plus volume 2. Let's do that. Let's copy the answer from the one. That's 8 cubic centimeters plus 12 cubic, let me move this out of the way, cubic centimeters. And the total of these two, so we're going to call it T for total, is going to be 8 plus 12 equals 20 cubic centimeters. Okay, now that's how you get the total of this complex figure, as you can see. Now, let's look at what some of the things that they have in common, because I'm going to be asking you about this. So something they have in common, these two shapes is they have in common not the length, okay? The length of these prisms is unrelated because the length of the small prism is two cubic two, and the length of the large prism is 3. So that's something that they don't have in common. Now we're gonna write about something they have in common, because you're gonna be doing this as a reflection. So then we can say the length is the same, but the height and the width are, different. Okay, now we're gonna write the height and the width. The width are related because it is 2 cubic units long for the large and small prisms. So this is how you're going to write the answers when you do the reflection. So remember, notice that what I did, I look at this information here. I said that the height and the height for this one is the same as the height of this one. And the width of the small prism is the same as the width of the large prism. So that's what they have in common here. This is what I showed you here. And then before that, I show you that what they don't have in common is the length. And the length is 3 for this one and 2 for this one. And notice that I gave you the measurements. So make sure you write that information, because that's what I expect from you. Thank you very much for signing out. This is your coach, Mr. Magno. Remember to just enjoy learning. Be good. There's nothing wrong with learning. Just get it down. And if you know it, practice it. Because remember, even the best players practice the skills that they already know. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Magno.